When education was first institutionalized internationally, students were instructed to become factory workers. It didn't foster creativity, and a teacher's main purpose was to chaperone. Eventually, countries realized that students should be taught individualism. Along the way, the importance of the teacher's part in education has been forgotten. America is stuck. With the rising need of individual students' development, teachers often find it difficult to teach everyone. They themselves were not taught to deal accordingly, and few strides have been made to shape teachers. They have been lost, and yet they are expected to mold each child correctly to our future.
I really had wanted to become a famed pianist at Carnegie Hall, but I saw that wasn't the path that I was supposed to be taking, and I really love working with kids, so I decided to go into education.
I decided to become a teacher because that was my background. My parents were involved in the school district. My father was the business administrator. My mother was the home ec teacher, and that's really all I knew. From a little kid, it was what I wanted to do because I played teacher as a child.
I'm going into secondary education for history because history is so underrated. Everybody you talk to is like, oh, I hate history, and my answer to that is always, you never had a good teacher, because a lot of teachers just tell you the facts and they expect you to memorize it. But if you tell a story, because that's what history is, it's a story of people that came before us, and I feel like if I become a teacher, I will be able to get people more excited about it, because our history is important. It's really true that you repeat the past, and maybe if somebody had taught Hitler, he wouldn't have been trying to invade Russia.
That makes it harder for parents to encourage their children to become educators. Education is a vocation, it's a calling. But of course, each of us has to make a living, make ends meet, support families, and on and on. So I wish that we would understand teaching in a different way and value it differently than sometimes we do in this country.
You don't go into teaching for the money, but at the same time, we're expected to teach the future. We're not teaching just specifically in our area. We're teaching future doctors, lawyers, the person that could solve the cure for cancer, everything. It's like we are forming them, but at the same time, it's like our money should be given to us accordingly. I mean, doctors are getting paid a lot because they're saving people's lives, but we are teaching those people that are going to become doctors, and I feel like that should show. And I'm not saying that I should make a, six-figure salary, but at the same time, it's like, why is that fair that I am giving part of my life just the same way a doctor or firefighter, whatever, is doing? Why isn't that shown?
The short answer is yes.
Yes.
Depending on where you are and the level that you're teaching, teachers can be underpaid.
But I know that there's a joke that when you talk to a teacher, they always go, oh, I'm not in it for the money.
In Japan, all teachers and civil servants, which is what everyone is unless you work in the government directly, are all paid the same. It doesn't matter how good you are, what level of degree you have, how many hours you put in, or what city you live in. Everyone is paid the same. There's a pay scale based on years of teaching that separates the salaries a bit, but besides that, all civil servants, which makes up 85% of the country, are paid on the same scale.
According to a New York Times study in 2007, comparative teacher salaries show that in Japan, teachers make $49,000, in the UK, $45,000, and the US, $42,000.